Tasmania. It's Australia's island state and is home to over 500,000 people. We elect 25 politicians that form the House or Assembly every 4 years to represent us. With a state election expected to be called within the next 6 months, how are candidates, political parties and others already preparing? It's time to go behind the scenes of Tasmania's election preparation. There are 25 politicians in Tasmania's House of Assembly, with 5 members elected from each of the state's 5 electorates. Helen Burnett is currently an alderman for the City of Hobart and is also one of the 4 candidates running with the Tasmanian Greens in Denison at the state election. At the Denison Greens headquarters in Hobart, Burnett details why she has put her hand up to be a candidate.
Tasmanians are being underfunded for their healthcare services, and I want to make that as one of the main issues that I'm pursuing throughout this election. And when we door knock, health, pokies, education, building heights are some of the things that are raised with me on the doorsteps of people's houses.
Burnett says that having conversations with constituents is important.
To have that one-to-one connection with people is really important. I mean, you can use social media and emails. I think it's about carving a path where you can to ensure that the message gets across and our positions get across.
Just north of Hobart, in the suburb of Moona, the Tasmanian Electoral Commission has been working hard to prepare for the upcoming election. At the TEC offices, Deputy Electoral Commissioner Nairi Edwards explains what has already been done.
So when it comes to running an election, for a House of Assembly we don't have a preset date for that. So there's a certain amount of knowns that we have, and then there's a group of unknowns that we also have. So in regard to the knowns, we know which polling places in what locations we intend to have for an election. We know the number of staff that we'd be intending to employ for those elections based on voter flow, historical voter flow estimates that we have. So we move quite an advanced way towards having our materials, our staffing allocation all done, which we have now completed as at end of September 2017. The unknowns is very much that we don't know how many candidates will stand, so therefore we don't know the size of the ballot papers that we need. And of course the big unknown is the date. So we have everything prepared, very much like firefighters, we're constantly prepared before the next event, and then we're in a holding pattern until such time that we have those final couple of answers, i.e. date and number of candidates, and we move forward with continuing and finishing off our processing in readiness.
Just down the road at local business ID Clothing, one of Labor's candidates, Tim Cox, is ordering more campaign material.
Well, it's no coincidence that we're here in this one. In fact, one of my running mates in one of the other electorates said, "You live near ID Clothing, make sure you go in and see them." It's a great local service, and they're not just servicing, obviously, people like me that are running for office, as you can see, of sporting teams and childcare centres and, lots and lots and lots of high-vis. I'm not doing any high-vis, Monty, because it's not particularly slimming, so we'll be leaving the high-vis. But I'm really glad for the service that somewhere like this is able to provide. They're good to deal with. So, it's a nice thing to be able to do. And, I would hope as part of a government that's able to back as many local businesses as possible.
The former ABC broadcaster's campaign is already well underway.
I spent a long time talking to Tasmanians about their lives and a long time hearing stories about life right across Tasmania, from people who are big names and have a lot of influence to people who are truly individuals in isolated communities and lead, important but very local grassroots sort of lives. And I think Tasmania can be a tremendous state for its size and absolute powerhouse, but I don't think we're quite getting there. And I want to be part of a government that takes it to that next step, that brings people with it, that puts people first. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about getting out and hearing from people what matters to them. It's nice that they'll yell at me at traffic lights, and I'm on a Vespa with a helmet on, but they'll still say, you know, what about this? What about this? Public transport is a really big issue, and integrated transport, which I think is an issue for most of our cities. So things like that are really interesting, and hearing about that in the most unusual places is a great thing. So I take it all on board, make notes about a lot of it as well, and it'll be hard work, but really rewarding, you know. And I might need a new pair of Blunstons before I start off, I think, and see if they can last the journey. I think it'll be some thousands of kilometres walked, door knocking, letterboxing, meeting people, but mainly hearing what really matters to people and what they want to see done differently.
Meanwhile, back at the TEC offices, staff have gathered for their weekly election briefing.
Every week we have the managers of our different areas in the Electoral Commission meet for our planning meetings. So we basically review every step of the election, right from the pre-announcement period to the period of the announcement and the close of the roll, and then ongoing with our planning towards the polling day, the close of polling and the scrutinies that occur as a result of that. So a lot of our early prep is very much solidified by now and complete. There's a massive amount of work that goes on in the background to ensure that that's as seamless process as it can be on polling day. We work tirelessly to make sure that we've got accessible polling places for people, that we have all the equipment and assistance that we need on site. We're very much about ensuring that people can maintain the franchise as far as being able to vote democratically within Tasmania and Australia as a wider platform. So we're certainly trying to make it as seamless as we can.
Candidates and political parties are already out door knocking, letterbox dropping, holding meetings and talking to constituents. Voters can expect to see campaigning ramp up over the next 6 months.
The Greens have been doing that door knocking for a few months now, and we're working our way through those particular areas where we want to see a higher Green vote in Denison. If you have a team behind you and if you can build that momentum, then it can work really well. Campaigning by yourself is something which is a lot harder. So campaigning with an effective team and an effective branch is really successful and can be really rewarding as well.
At the Launceston show, both Labor and Liberals had a stall to connect with potential voters. This is the endpoint for all those involved with preparing for Tasmania's state election. This is the place where our elected representatives debate policies and vote on the state's laws. Parliament House. A building which contains over 170 years of Tasmanian political history. 13 seats give a political party a majority and government. But 13 seats can be hard to win as political support can change quickly. It is anticipated the government will call an election to be held in March 2018. Candidates certainly have a long campaign ahead of them. Who will fill Tasmania's Parliament House at the upcoming election. Tasmanians will decide.